There was a fantastic new study that just came out from the journal Nature. For those that don't know, Nature is one of the biggest, most widely respected, not medical journals. It's a journal of nature, as it suggests, but about science, nature science. Big deal. Anyway, this article goes into a specific nutrient deficiency, or not, it's not a nutrient. What is it? A mineral?
It's a metal.
Metal deficiency for folks with Alzheimer's. It looks like, and I believe this was with animal studies, but it looks like Alzheimer's might be linked to a substantial lithium deficiency in the brain. And the best part is, it's not just a matter of having low lithium causes Alzheimer's. It also looks like perhaps restoring proper lithium levels will actually reverse Alzheimer's. It did so in mice. So this is a big deal. What's going on here? What are we talking about?
Yeah. So I think first, when people hear lithium, yes, it's a metal. It's on the periodic table, and but it's used in the medication realm for bipolar.
Yeah, okay? I knew I'd heard of it before.
Yes. So it's used for psychiatric conditions like that.
So this is a heavy hitter.
Exactly. But it's still a natural metal, and those doses are very, very high compared to what we're talking to. So I think that's the first thing to kind of get out of the way. But we all have lithium in our serum, in our blood, and we have it in our brain. That period. And it's really just about whenever you use those mega doses, you can get some effect. This is discussing physiological doses.
Got it. Okay. All right. And why aren't we just talking? I mean, there aren't any current treatments for Alzheimer's that show substantial efficacy, correct?
Substantial, yes. I mean, you can slow the decline, but you can't stop or reverse it with what we currently have. So this is definitely a condition. It affects 7 million Americans. It's an awful condition, and we're still learning about it and trying to get some results. So, this is not, to be the breakthrough of this is going to fix it and this is going to solve it. But I think it was very interesting because there's, again, a little link to, the supplement world that we'll get to. And also because we're looking for some novel approaches.
Any good news is important at this point. That makes sense. This is this is a 2025 paper in Nature.
Yes.
Okay. So researchers measured 27 different metals in human post-mortem brains, meaning after folks had passed, and they looked at normal cognition, mild cognitive decline, and Alzheimer's. Those were their three kind of breakdowns. Lithium was the only metal that showed significantly lower levels in those with cognitive decline and Alzheimer's across both cohorts. So serum. Okay, so what's the difference? So we got serum lithium and brain lithium. The difference there being blood versus actually found in the brain.
So basically, systemic lithium was normal in all three groups. Okay, so there was no difference in kind of your physiological, hey, my doctor's going to check lithium levels. No difference.
Oh, fascinating.
In the brain, though, brain lithium was low in those with mild cognitive impairment and Alzheimer's, but not in those with normal cognition. So, does this, it could purely be that when you have Alzheimer's via some totally different mechanism, it lowers your lithium. That's what this could be. But this is the impetus. This is why these studies are important, even if they're not breakthrough, hey, now we can solve it, but to start to build, to take the steps of getting some result.
Looking for any differences that we can go, okay, maybe it's that, makes sense. So you said it's systemically fine, meaning you go to the doctor, your doctor checks your lithium level, not going to see anything different. But that doesn't necessarily mean you're in the clear. It's what's actually happening in the brain, and there's no way to test that until after you've passed. You wouldn't enjoy it in the meantime.
And what they also found is important. We're still kind of in that, that basic study, that correlation study that kind of was the impetus to the next part. But they found that amyloid plaques, so we found over time that amyloid plaques are present in Alzheimer's. They had concentrated levels of lithium inside of them.
Oh, fascinating.
But that the surrounding brain tissue had much less lithium available.
So it almost looks like the plaque is absorbing. That is amazing. Okay. Wow. I'm kind of reeling with that. Okay. So let's talk about the the animal studies that they did. This is the big meat of this thing. What did they do?
So what they did was they removed lithium from healthy mice's diet. So they proved what went on. They checked their serum lithium. It went down significantly, 89%, and brain lithium went down about 50%.
Wow. Okay.
So the result of that, so this is an intervention, okay? And this is in mice, not humans, but again, we're taking the steps. Yes.
Okay.
More amyloid plaque, more tau phosphorylation, so the production, more neuroinflammation, and memory impairment, which you say they're mice. How do you know? Water maze, object recognition, Y maze, they did test it. So there's we're starting to, take some steps here.
So lowering lithium in the brain wasn't just lowering it in their brain was enough to trigger what looked like Alzheimer's symptoms.
Yes. And what's interesting, again, back to the link. So in what we saw in humans, the postmortem data, serum lithium, no change in any of the groups, normal or Alzheimer's. In the diet and what they did with mice, when they removed the lithium, they did see a serum decrease. Okay. So I just thought that's an interesting link that they saw the serum decrease. So it's not about how much lithium potentially that you're intaking. It's a result, whether chicken or egg, it's occurring in those states of cognitive decline.
Okay. So if I hear you right, that sounds like you're saying lithium deficiency isn't necessarily, we don't think that's the cause of Alzheimer's, but that it is definitely present in folks with Alzheimer's, and it seems to exacerbate or aggravate these symptoms.
Yes. So what now you're trying to do from a study standpoint is, as much as you can in mice, not humans, but again, we're taking the steps, is see what interventions then can come into play. So is this purely, again, like I said earlier, you have Alzheimer's, this just happens to be a side effect and it doesn't mean anything, or there's room for intervention here. That's what they're looking for. Is it a consequence, or can it drive the pathology of Alzheimer's disease?
Okay. So, all right. So then how is it, if lithium is this potential hinge point, how is lithium protecting the brain in this situation?
So here are some of the mechanisms that they're proposing, may be too light, but we're not sure yet. The microglia, which are the brain's version of their immune cells and their immune system.
Okay.
With good lithium levels, those microglia can clear amyloid plaques. With low
sense.
lithium, the microglia get inflamed and they can't function as well. So inflammation, that's why that was a key part too, is that the neuroinflammation markers were up.
That makes sense. Okay.
Lithium also normally inhibits a certain pathway, GSK3 beta, okay, which has been shown to drive amyloid plaque formation and inflammation in the brain.
That also
so
makes
lithium
sense.
helps to regulate that.
To regulate it and clean it out. Okay. All right. Low lithium literally is making the brain behave like an Alzheimer's brain in these mice. And we're seeing evidence of low lithium in adults that with confirmed Alzheimer's symptoms. So we definitely think there's something happening here genetically.
Yes. And now we'll get into a one level deeper. So why don't they see in patients with bipolar taking lithium at high doses? Why don't they see a difference in Alzheimer's rates? So what is... Okay?
I didn't know that they didn't.
They didn't. So medical lithium... This is going to get a little, not so much pharmacy, but maybe a little more chemistry.
Okay.
Is lithium carbonate. It's highly ionized. So think about, it's a salt. We think of salt like, table salt, but it's sodium chloride. Why? When you put it in water, can't you see it anymore? It dissolves. Basically, the sodium and chloride break apart. Okay. So that's ionization, and lithium carbonate is highly ionized. Okay. So it actually makes the lithium very accessible for amyloid plaques to absorb because it's heavily ionized. What they're going to do, and what they did do in this study was lithium orotate. So it's a different salt of lithium, is much less ionized. And they found that there was less brain penetration and less likelihood for the amyloid plaques to absorb it.
Interesting. So a different version of lithium seems to help where standard lithium protocols aren't going to do it.
And this is an example where you can't compare a dose of lithium orotate the supplement version to lithium carbonate, because the amount of available lithium, when you see that whole number on either side, is the complete salt, and the amount of lithium when it's highly ionized, like in the carbonate form, it's all available for use.
Okay. All right.
So they found, again, in multiple mouse models, reduced amyloid plaque, reduced neuroinflammation, that there was even some restoring of synapses and myelin in the brain, and brain tissue, and improved memory performance.
That's amazing. Okay, so this is all primarily in the not rodent models, but rodent testing. Has lithium ever been linked with humans before, other than in those postmortem brain exams?
Yes. We do have studies that show that lithium in drinking water. Okay, so again, we're talking about physiological, those like low basic, quote unquote, normal levels of lithium versus the megadose that you see with the medication. So regions with slightly higher lithium in their groundwater had consistently lower dementia rates.
No kidding.
Yes. Mid-range amount of lithium in the water had lower Alzheimer's risk. So not of impairment of any kind cognitively, but lower actual full-blown Alzheimer's disease risk. Multiple populations showed the same trend.
That's fantastic.
Yeah, because a lot of what we see even with lithium orotate, and we actually don't carry it. This is a brand new study. We had carried it in the past. My dad would recommend it for more so like, for the mood purpose, and just say, hey, this is not going to be toxic to the kidneys. There's some studies showing. So we use it for kind of a different purpose.
Sure.
Not for the cognitive effect. And this is literally cutting edge to the point where we do not,
this is brand new
don't
info.
carry it. Yes,
okay.
Exactly.
So if I hear you right, if this holds true, and I'm sure they're going to do more testing in this, but it sounds like Alzheimer's might begin with the loss of protective lithium that your body just has. And why that might happen, we're not really sure. Looks like genetics, but early supplementation with low dose orotate, lithium orotate,
Exactly, yes,
could delay or prevent the disease.
Correct.
Is what we're looking at.
Potentially, yes.
And could be used alongside amyloid clearing drugs, all those sorts of things, the normal
as part
stuff.
of the, exactly. And then again, you get into what is your age? Is this something, that a 30-year-old, needs to start taking?
Yeah.
I don't see that. But if you're starting to get middle age, maybe it's in your family, and the genetic component of why this occurs in your brain versus other people's brains, there's an increased likelihood. I think that's where this definitely starts to come into play. But yeah, it's, we still don't have full human data on the supplementation to show true correlation. That's going to take some time, but again, that you only get there by being here where we are.
Yep.
Mice are not humans, obviously. Their brain does function somewhat differently, but we did see some interventional benefit there. So this will be very, very interesting to see how this plays out when we get larger randomized trials, when we can really start to connect the dots. So the takeaway could be that lithium orotate is the mover, and it's available as a supplement, or, we could end up kind of going more down the drug route. And again, when we're talking about something like Alzheimer's disease, they can make a medication and it happens to utilize, whether it kind of mimics lithium or in some way, keeps it in the brain, however they, can get that. The disease is so awful that's a huge, huge win. So is this necessarily to say lithium orotate's your answer and we're going to start? No, this is the starting of, hey, that could be part of the puzzle, but also this could lead to medication development. Anytime
we can have positive movement in this realm,
exactly.
I am all for it. I've seen multiple family members suffer with this disease. It's awful. Anybody who's seen it up close knows. It is fantastic that this study seems to kind of hit all those commonly heard terms,
exactly.
like the beta amyloid plaques and the inflammation and all those different things that we are so commonly told relate to Alzheimer's, but we don't fully understand what's going on.
We know the plaques are there. We're not sure how they're getting there.
Yeah. Mm-hmm. That's really cool. So maybe, just maybe, we've made some steps in the right direction.